I'm alive. Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be going over the limited one showcase today. Now you may notice that I'm in a different avatar, admittedly a little more fan servicey, because it is of my third character that I have for my channel. So, my friend Wilhan, who helped make Aisha's model, made this one. And to be fair, it was more his cup of tea, so. Yeah. But we're going to be going over the video in this avatar for today, so hopefully you don't mind a little poopa. So, let's get on with it. So, bam.
Rated RP2M.
What? Oh, wow, that's just...
I did it. 1995.
They couldn't even just use wheel footage of E3 though.
It's out there. $2.99.
This is a photo of the LA Convention Center in June 2023.
As it should
If we
be.
play our cards right, we'll see E3 2023 fade into existence. It's time to save the Electronic Entertainment Expo.
What do you mean? The E3 killed its fucking self. Like, I mean, that's E3's own fucking fault for any of that.
Hello, welcome. How are you all? I'm with Limited Run Games. I know you all don't know who we are, but this is our 1995 E3 press conference. In the year 2023, E3 no longer exists. I know that's hard to believe, but
No,
we've
it's easy to
traveled
believe.
back
Wait,
in time to show you the future of
How is that hard to believe? E3 has been doing fucking awful even before fucking COVID. It's done several things, and I'm not talking about like the SJW shit, like, you know, oh, booth babes. Now I'm not talking about that shit. Like, they've been overpriced. They clearly charge way too much money for fucking companies to do stuff though. Like, in this day and age where you can just fucking live stream off of Twitch and YouTube and shit, why would you waste millions of dollars to go to that fucking building that half the time can't make up its mind whether it should let the general public or not in? And, you know, and now, you know, and more, so you can't have fucking fun at half of these fucking things anymore. Like, why should companies keep going to this fucking place? Honestly, I'm not even understanding, like, this is kind of weird to me, because for those who don't know, like, E3 is ran by the same people who, like, fund, like, the ESRB. So, like, if you were familiar within the early point of limited one games where their releases did not have ESRB ratings because they didn't go to retail. Well, apparently, you know, they were like, oh, well, at some point about it, and they had to stop putting the ESRB rating on it. I viewed it as them being fucking greedy for more fucking money, because that's kind of the problem with the company that does the ESRB and E3 at this point. They've corporized an organization that was meant to basically get the government not to fucking mess with video games and that, because the government itself is a bunch of incompetent fucking morons too. I will still say it to this fucking day. Everyone involved in that fucking court case that was about what was that fucking Sega 3D Sega CD game, Night Trap. All those fucking people had no fucking idea what they're talking about. Literally, watch some of the fucking cold case of Night Trap. One of those fucking idiots actually thought you was kidnapping the women to fucking, like, do horrible things to. What a moron Didn't even fucking boot up the game. Shouldn't even been in law. But, you know, that's a whole different subject matter. We're getting off the... I'm just kind of surprised that what I'm seeing here is, like, being pity to E3 when I would imagine they would be a little bit more mad at them myself. But, hey, you know what? Anyway, rant over. Let's move on.
Gaming, to keep the spirit of E3 alive and hopefully save E3 for generations to come. So without further ado, ready your whips for our first announcement.
Surprising no one! Castlevania Advanced Collection. Yeah, that's not a surprise at all. Of course, the thing I think is interesting about this collection is, while it's called Advanced, one of the games aren't a GBA game. Also, I found it weird that it had Circle the Moon, which is not considered canon the last time I remember. Of course, these are still fantastic games, though. Well, except for the fourth one. Though I'm glad the fourth one's there, don't get me wrong, because it's a super fucking whale Castlevania game. It is super fucking expensive, so having the fourth title is all fair and good. But yeah, considering they didn't include the third original Game Boy game in the other collection, it's kind of weird that they included Circle of the Moon. But Dracula X, which is a watered down Wonder of Blood, is a very expensive game, so that's really nice to see. So, July 28th. Well, I'd definitely be snagging that.
The future of Castlevania. And would you believe we have even more games to announce? Here are two.
Doom style. What the hell? Are they digitized people? Wise of the Triad. Yeah, looks like a pretty decent Doom style game.
Scott's mystical head.
Wait, what? Ah, Tahu Project. I got the Asian version of this. Okay, well, hopefully this means maybe that other Symphony of Night style game will get physical then. Because so far, there's another one that's still digital only. It's a little more anime, where this one went for more of a Symphony of Night dark goth look. Which is pretty neat. You don't usually see these characters in that style. But yeah, I have the Asian release of that, so that's kind of a crazy
How
thing.
did you like those two reveals? Now, a legendary shmup from developer M2.
Ooh, this is some paddle probably now. Shot Tigers, Trigger, and Shot Triggers. With the overseas versions, Twin Cobra. So it's 3 games and multiple versions of them. That's another game. So this looks like this is a collection of a bunch of older games and ports and that. Yeah, that's not necessarily bad. I'm not familiar with any of those games, so that'll be interesting to see Pad's thoughts on that.
This next reveal is the definitive collection of an all-time classic, brought to you by the developers of the incomparable Digital Eclipse.
Ooh.
I'm excited to be able to preserve this masterpiece physically. It's a game that inspired one of the most popular genres of all time.
It really stuck out.
Oh, it's that karate game that was popular in Europe.
Karate
Karateka.
I have never played this.
It was the most movie-like experience I'd ever had in a video game.
Love it. It's so good.
I didn't know who Jordan Mechner was, but I wanted to be like Jordan Mechner.
I was in college. I came home on vacation with this new project that was starting. And we were taking karate lessons.
Looks like it's gonna have a lot of additions. This is a super old fucking game, though.
Tracing each frame to get a frame of animation.
The aesthetic and the motion was really unusual for the time.
I knew how important music was to tell a story, but I wasn't a musician. So I turned to my dad.
I said, well, why not have a series of beeps that are tuned to notes?
Oh. Oh, so you're getting multiple ports and an updated version. That's not necessarily terrible. You get several preserved versions.
Karateka will stand the test of time as one of the most elegant game experiences that's ever been done. It's amazing.
It's called The Making of?
Wow. How about that?
Wait.
Do you like music? Who does?
Hey.
But I wasn't a musician. So I turned to my dad.
Well, there might be a slight spoiler. So I'm confused about one thing on this. I want to stop it where it shows the title screen again, because I'm a little confused by, because it's called The Making of. So is this like a DVD thing or an actual? Because it says it comes with 3 versions, well, 4 versions of the game, which one of them's a Wii
One of the most
Master.
elegant game experiences that's ever been done. It's amazing.
Okay, let's see here. Now it lists PS5, PS4, and Switch, so I guess it is the games, because it said it. Just kind of confusing why it's called The Making of. That's kind of a weird title, though.
Wow. How about that? Do you like music? Who doesn't? I love music. And if you're anything like me, you're going to love this collection of vinyl soundtracks featuring everyone's favorite heroes in a nutshell.
I'm not really in the vinyls. Okay, it wasn't really a spoiler then. I mean, it's really nice that we've gotten so many of the Turtle games preserved now, which is really excellent, because, I mean, there's a lot of them that will becoming hard to get. Man, that's gonna be a hell of a big-ass vinyl. It's really weird seeing Nickelodeon, a lot of that shit. Damn, that is a lot of vinyls.
Wow. 9 incredible soundtracks released on vinyl, CD, and cassette.
All
for the first
individually
time.
for sale,
Can't get
right?
any better than that.
Can't make like
No,
a 2
it
set or
can't.
something.
This next game is a remastered classic for the Nintendo Switch.
Ooh. Huh. Well, we don't know what to feel about that. That's not really something I'm, like, necessarily crying about, but I'm not really one who plays a lot of these sim tycoon games, so I'm clearly not the real target here. Man, look at those graphics. Only PC gaming,
This
right?
next announcement is only a tease, and I'm sorry for that. But we're happy to announce that we're collaborating with The Mix to work on 2 all-new retro games based
I
on
should
2
say
of the
only
most popular cartoons
PC,
from the
3D
90s.
PC.
Which ones? Well, I can't tell you that today. You're gonna have to wait to find out more information.
What?
But all of you here in 1995 will be very familiar with these shows. So stay
Then
tuned.
why the
for
fuck
more
are you
information.
announcing them?
And we still have more exciting games to reveal. Pull on your designer jeans and
We're
get ready
announcing-
to battle some fallen angels.
Oh man, I just bought a 360 copy of this like late last year. I've always wanted to get the PS3 copy for ages. Please be a PS4 version. I didn't want to get the 360 version, but it was like the only one that was like decently affordable still. Like the PS3 one went way fucking up. See, I hadn't picked this up for the longest time because I always thought I'd find it for a decent price one day, but that day never ended up coming. Shows you how if you wait too long, just whoop. Oh, seriously, just the Switch? Fucking hell.
Wow, incredible. Let's take a look at this next announcement, which is a spin-off of a popular release that we did
On the upside, it's been out for a while, so it should be mostly updated with good stuff. Look at here. Retro Forces. Ooh. Very nice sprites. Definitely looks like a game full of boy killers. Like the sprite walk though.
And now, here's the latest from everyone's favorite
World premiere.
Genie hero.
Oh!
My name is Matt Bozon. I'm the
Wait a minute.
director of Way Forward. I'm the director of the Shantae video game series.
Wait a minute though. So, every Shantae game has now officially been brought to modern consoles. So, there's two things this could be then. Either A, they're going to announce the newest Shantae game through Limited Ones games. Which that wouldn't shock me. Oh, boy, help change camera. So that wouldn't shock me if they announced it the next Shantae game through Limited One. Because the last one was through Kickstarter. And let's admit, we don't usually see a lot of companies do Kickstarter and shit very much anymore. Ones that do, or generally ones that don't have the backing of a big corporation shit. And at this point, like, Way Forward is way in big. Like, they're just sleeping with Limited One, like, fuck. So, there's no reason for them to really fucking go to Kickstarter again. They've likely made lots of good money re-releasing all those shit through physical with extra goodies and shit. So, they're either about to announce next Shantae game, that would be awesome, or some other Way Forward project. Because every Shantae game's on modern shit. There's nothing else to announce other than a new game. So, let's see.
And that's what I do. You want me to do that again?
Development history.
So the story of how we went from Shantae Game Boy Color to Shantae Advance is Shantae was finished, but had not shipped yet. So we were already working on Shantae Advance for quite some time at this point. Shantae the original was very well reviewed. Sales were not good. So when we're taking the Game Boy Advance demo, which was about an hour and a half long, we'd start taking that to places. We go, well, here we go. And they go, how was the sales data for, how did Shantae the original do? We go, oh, not well at all. Do you want the new game? So it was a tough market. It was really difficult, and it was all retail driven. So there'd be too many creative compromises to either get it on a tiny, tiny cartridge or maybe a cartridge where you couldn't save your progress. We just didn't want a less ambitious Shantae game. We wanted it to be the game that we wanted to make. So for those reasons, we just shut it down and archived all the files and put it away. I'd like to finish that work. It seems weird that it was left undone, and I think fans would like it. Could you just like release pieces of it on the internet or something? Never wanted to do it because I'm like, maybe someday we'll have a chance. Well, we got our chance now.
Wait, whoa.
The game's title is Shantae Risky Revolution.
I have never heard of this. Is this actually public knowledge? Like, I have never heard of Shantae being developed on the GBA before. I mean, I know the full Shantae game has like some kind of thing that activates when you're playing on a GBA. So, are you going to tell me that they're announcing a fucking unreleased Shantae game? That's crazy. But very interesting. And it's definitely not the first time. I can't necessarily think of an instance off the top of my head, but I know it certainly has been a thing before of having an unreleased game actually put out there. That. Now here's the thing I want to know though, if that's what this is doing though. Is it going to be on modern consoles? Because I can always tell that they're going to probably be doing a GBA version because they've already done WePo stuff, so. And I'm not a fan of WePos, really, so.
Risky Boots has found this cavern underneath Sequin Land, and so she sets up this device that lets her rotate the land above, and landlocked towns that she could never plunder or pillage are getting rotated, and they're ending up at the coastline so she can attack them. So it's just a big silly idea, but you as the player get to control that. So you can shift the world around, it's like puzzle stuff, and you can ultimately foil Risky by using her machine against her, but in the meantime, it's fun to slide the layers. Risky Revolution is when a lot of the main cast meets, in some cases for the first time. So we went straight into Shantae Risky's Revenge where everyone just somehow knows everybody. There's an entire missing chapter of their lives that was never touched on. One of the things we wanted to have in this game was the link cable support, which sounds funny today. It's fun, it's an experience you don't get anymore. You just need one copy of the game, it sends it out to 3 empty devices. It's lighthearted and fun and really silly, and I think players will like it. I mean, to make a Game Boy Advance game in like this year is crazy, but I think it's a better version of the game than it would have been if it had come out in 2003 or 2004. There's no way this game was coming back with a limited run. I mean, this is the only way that this game would ever get into players' hands. To play an actual final, manufactured version in a box is going to be super cool, and so I can't wait for that.
Wow, Shantae's Lost Adventure will finally be available to play as a cartridge, releasing for pre-orders this.
Okay, wait. So first thing. It did not show what systems it's for. Now, he just said cartridge. So that makes it sound like it's going to be only on the GBA. Well, interesting. Again, I'm not really a fan of WePos. I don't really like WePos. I mean, I get these are okay, these are okayed and considered legitimate through the owners and shit. I get that, but I'm not really a fan of WePos. I mean, there's 2 reasons. One, because, they're really easy to fake. So, if you're, trying to get a used one, you're not going to really easily tell the difference between a fake or the limited one version. And then the second is there's always been these questionable, sometimes using cheap, shitty materials and stuff, sometimes for some of these WePo type things. So hopefully that doesn't remain that way. I would like to see it on actual modern stuff. And the other thing is, I mean, people like me, I have a GBA, obviously. I have multiple ways to play GBA shit. I got the DS. I got actual GBA, and then I got the GBA player on the GameCube. But, you know, a lot of other people who probably also buy from him probably don't have a GBA, but now it kind of puts them in a weird situation. So hopefully we'll actually have a proper release for consoles that.
September. Now let's keep the momentum going with our next reveal.
Oh yes, I've seen cheap ass Gamer tweet this one a number of times. I'm glad to see this because it looks really interesting. Like it has a nice aesthetic. But yeah, I've seen cheap ass Gamer tweet this thing on sale multiple times, so nice. Okay, we'll count that as a win. Oh, you're gonna have 2 players? See, that one's gonna be on other consoles. That's something I would have expected to be more Switchish.
This next trailer is for a game that is currently available for pre-order on our webpage. You can find us on the World Wide Web at www.limitedrungames.com, or for you back in 1995 at AOL keyword limited run.
Now this is always for sale. There was another title that's always on sale too, but this is always on sale on their website. I think it was always on sale before this presentation. Pretty sure I went them with the previous weekend on sale. It's supposed to be 2 games, one about Bale and one about something else. Yeah, cat. That's a really big looking fish.
Remember the CDI? Even though it came out 5 years ago, I'm sure you've all forgotten it. Multimedia. CD-ROM.
Okay. So, here's the thing here, though. This better be the fucking, this here better be Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. It better. Because they announced that, like, what? It's been, like, fucking 2-3 years since they announced Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. And it's just been in fucking limbo for like fucking ever. So now, I mean, obviously it's not a good game or anything, but you know, you gotta meme those bad games for some extra money, right? So let's see if it's that, because I mean they always did so many of those full motion videos. Like they always ported a lot of those games that from that era, so. And he said 3DO, and I'm pretty sure that was a 3DO, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen James Wolfe's video on that, which obviously is what populated that whole thing. But, alright, well, let's go back and let's see if the prediction's right, because it's very late.
Motion video. The CDI promised us the future, and with Zelda, the Wand of Gamelon, and Link, Faces of Evil, we almost got there. Despite being the best games in these series, these classics have been forgotten and sidelined. But Limited Run Games never forgets a classic.
You gotta be shitting me. Are you going to tell me that they're gonna port the fucking Zelda CDI games? Do you know how insane that would be? Because for one thing, they would have had to have fucking blackmailed someone at Nintendo. Nintendo does not acknowledge that shit at all. If he is going to tell me that they are porting the fucking CDI Zelda games, I will solidly believe they have blackmailed someone in high power, because they have. I've never heard Nintendo ever acknowledge any of those fucking Zelda games, ever. But and that would mark the first time they've worked with Nintendo to a capacity of something related to them like that. That would be the most weirdest thing to do a project with Nintendo with. I don't even really know what the fuck to say. Let's just see.
Classic. So presented for the first time, the spiritual successor to those classic experiences.
Wait, what? Spiritual successors?
After 10 years of peace, the evil Dimer has returned. It's up to Princess Arzette to defeat him. In this new interactive animated adventure,
Are you telling me somebody made a fucking CDI Zelda parody game? I know we've seen a lot of interesting throwback titles, but this takes the fucking cake. Are you? Somebody sat down and it's like, you know what the world needs? We need an indie Zelda CDI. You know, this is funny because we've been talking about the Zelda timeline because I've started Skyward Sword as the Friday viewer choice stream. So we've been talking about it, and we were talking about like what Zelda games didn't have a graveyard for some fucking reason. I can't remember the exact reason why, but I was like, I don't think the CDI games had graveyards, and he's like, we don't count those. So that's kind of funny timing on that.
Set must explore the kingdom of Faramore.
Well, they definitely did the art style in the cutscenes. That was a scarecrow. Mario Hotel.
Colorful characters.
Oh God, that face.
Minions.
What the hell?
To challenge me?
Featuring hand-painted backgrounds, animated scenes.
My goods will improve your fortunes, so long as you improve mine.
An outstanding original score, and talent from previous interactive adventures. Good! This will be a journey you won't want to miss. Arzette, the Jewel of Faramore. Coming soon to your interactive multimedia system.
That is fucking weird.
Pay with something, will ya?
Well, isn't that it'd be interesting to see the CDI Zelda games, but there's no way in hell it's ever happening.
Speaking of another bona fide classic, you've been asking for it, and we're finally ready to reveal a release date. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, the definitive edition.
I feel so trolled.
Major platforms in September 2023. This new version of the classic game will include full audio commentary, a slew of documentary
fucking
footage,
popular because
and
the
a
angry
ton of
video game
all
nerd.
new features and unlockable content.
Because how absurd it is.
Run, Jane, run!
Oh God.
It is the first American-produced visual novel. He came up to me and asked if
Wait.
I'd be interested in doing a video.
Did he just call this the first Western visual novel? Okay, I need someone to do a background check on that. I mean, we cannot have plumbers wear ties be considered the first visual novel in fucking Western media. It is like a child-friendly porno. It's so fucking weird. What the hell?
Game, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. We were just like Ed Wood, on the run. Let's go do it, quick.
It only became this weird cult classic through the sort of YouTube zeitgeist.
I didn't think it was going to make a very good episode, but I tried anyway.
Technologically, it's rather anemic.
I mean, look at it. Either people love it.
I'm giving it too much credit.
Or they hate it.
It is a grease fire.
Or they think it's funny.
This game sort of has a legacy that's very special and one of a kind.
I think you'll love it.
Oh, it's one of a kind for sure. That nobody denying that at all. That nobody denying
You're
that
probably rolling
at
your
all.
eyes because we're announcing this game for the third time. Well, I guess the first for you all here back in 1995. But I promise we're really releasing this in September 2023. So mark your calendars and get ready to plumb the depth.
Release or sorry. Well, I have a menu thing here for pausing and that, so must have accidentally grabbed it. So he says release. Now, are we talking about actually fucking releasing it, or are we talking about the pre-orders opening and then waiting a fucking year to get them sent out? Because I think it's a kind of good point to note that, because, I mean, you already have a huge amount of fucking games that are fucking, you know, taking forever to fucking get made and sent out while fucking continuing to throw out tons and tons of other fucking games. So, like, I think that might be a little important thing to kind of, like, fine detail just a little bit more on, to be sure, because I can imagine someone pissing off about it, but
Here's another reveal.
Now what? The newest game from the Call of Cthulhu people. It's supposed to be like a Sailor Moon RPG. I imagine it'll be fun. They're usually short experiences, but they usually do something a little creatively interesting. I imagine they'll use some of the mechanics from Saves Christmas, I imagine. I remember seeing it get announced on Twitter, and I know it's been out for a while digitally, so this isn't shocking at all, honestly. You know, at this point, though, one of the lead people who made this shit actually just stepped down recently. Like, he just announced that he's basically moving on. So, which is a shame, because, you know, it would have been nice to see, like, some of the older games, Breath of Death and Cthulhu Saves the World actually get newer versions. Switch and PS5. No PS4 again? Oh, come on.
Get ready to step into the shoes of Babyface and rid the city of crime in this next physical reveal.
Babyface. What the fuck is this? Oh no, that was an Xbox thing. Does that mean they're gonna be, like, they've done very few Xbox releases. It looks pretty decent. Nope. it just was stealing the review thing.
This next game comes to us from the legendary founders of Sierra Online Systems, Roberta and Ken Williams.
Ooh. Looks like a Myst style game. And that's just done everything.
Everyone likes turn-based RPGs, right?
Yes.
Of course. Well, how about a new game that's inspired by Super Mario RPG?
Ooh. Graphically it looks a bit But hey, you know, if it's a Super Mario RPG-esque game, that's really nice. PS5. Wow, they're not even doing that on the Switch?
A dumb question.
That's really
But have you
weird.
ever wished that Punch-Out was based on the works of Jane Austen instead of Mike Tyson? Who hasn't? Well, this next reveal has got you covered.
Way forward. What the hell is this? This don't look like any fucking way forward game I've ever seen.
She is nothing but a commoner. I am no longer.
What in the world? Hey, Frostborn. How you doing? Doing a little video on the Limited One showcase. What? Like, I know a lot of Way Forward's games. What in the hell is this? I have never seen this.
This house will be mine.
Oh wow, this slapping the fuck. Oh, it just showed the Wii remote. Is it gonna have motion shit? You just slap people?
Make you obey me. It will be a piece of cake for me to dodge your slaps.
What in the fuck is this? This is by Way Forward? This is the people who did Shantae. What the hell?
Rose and Camellia Collection.
Collection? Wait, this is multiple games? I have never heard of these. What the fuck?
1,000 years ago, superstition and the sword ruled.
Uh-oh.
It was a time of darkness. It was a world of fear. It was the age of...
Ooh, Gargoyles.
That's right.
I believe that was on the SNES.
Physical release of
We
the upcoming
Master.
Gargoyles Remastered. More details.
I don't think I ever played Gargoyles,
This
though.
next game is inspired by classics like Mischief Makers, Klonoa, and Tomba.
Ooh. That definitely looks like Mischief Makers. That looks like Canola. That like has the aesthetics of the N64 game, but like the gameplay of Canola. Oh, I can't see it. Wait.
Wow. How about that?
Looks fun for platformers.
Well, I like scary games, and I'm sure you probably do too. But it's always bothered me that one classic Japanese horror game never came to America. Well, until now.
What? Whoa. Dude, that music. That's fucking Clock Tower music. That's the original Clock Tower music that was just playing there. That's Clock Tower music that was fucking playing there. It's fucking Clock Tower. It is! It's fucking Clock
Starting
Tower!
with River City Girl Zero, we've been bringing these Japanese-only releases to a Western audience.
And I think being able to put that on modern platforms is fantastic, allows more people to experience something that they may have never experienced before. We are definitely looking into more of these.
Also, okay, so it's showing more way forward people. So, as the first gentleman just said, the River City Goals SNES game they did was with Way Forward, because Way Forward was doing the modern River City Ransom games, so I guess that helped get them, But see, like, I'm starting to feel more and more like Limited One games and Way Forward are like really fucking working together on a lot of stuff, and I feel this is just more evidence that, because unlike River City Goals, the SNES game they did, this is nothing involved with anything they have any ownership or creative walk into. So this to me just makes it all the more proof that Limited One Games is using, like, not in a necessarily bad way, but like they're working together to do projects and shit. That's pretty neat though. To do fucking Clock Tower. Though, here's something I think is going to be really important that I want this to get answered during this. Is this going to be the SNES game or the PS1 game? Because, for those who don't know, the PS1 game actually has the canon ending that goes into Clock Tower 2, which is the Clock Tower 1 that we got in America for the PS1. The SNES game does not have the ending that goes into Clock Tower 2. So if they're doing the SNES game, it's not necessarily the end of the world, but it's a little bit of a shame because we're basically not getting the definitive edition. So I would like to see that get answered during this, because otherwise it's going to be very confusing on what the fuck version we're getting. Because the SNES, PS1, and WonderSwan, obviously not WonderSwan, so...
Personally, I want to see more horror games.
I'm Mariel Cartwright. I am the creative lead of the Port Plus version of Clock Tower. I've always been a big horror fan. I love, Resident Evil and Silent Hill. I just love horror games in general and horror movies. But Clock Tower in particular is a game that I discovered when I was probably about 16, and it holds a really special place in my heart because at the time it was the scariest thing I had ever played. As this character Jennifer, I'm trying to get away from the Scissor Man. We have a ton of games where you're fighting monsters and you're shooting them with guns, and that can still be scary, but Clock Tower is distinct in that you really don't have any of those tools.
It was one of the first experiences for me that really was like that in terms of horror, and I think that that's fantastic.
It is true survival horror. You can only survive, and I think it is a game that has a lot of quieter tension. Jennifer is such an interesting character because at the start of the game, we don't know a lot about her, and I think the game does such an amazing job of revealing a very heartbreaking story about her, through different playthroughs of the game because it has a bunch of endings. And I think that's part of what got me so attached.
There's kind of like the reverse engineering aspect of that, and then there's the other aspect of like, how do you get this stuff back into the game?
Usually we always try to have both the legacy product as it was, and also offer something that's surprising. Like in River City Zero, we had the manga cutscenes. That's a fun little surprise for people.
Directing the animated opening is pretty crazy.
That's where we can add our own creativity, adding intro sequences and new translations.
For Clock Tower specifically, there's a lot of like scripting events in there, so there might be a command to say, change the display speed of text. That's kind of been a tricky thing too with localization. It's like, how do I represent that?
Being able to kind of oversee that and bring a new vision of this game to life, to be a part of it in any way at all, is just incredible.
Only 2024. Why is Sunsoft on now?
The original Super Famicom classic,
Oh.
Clock Tower, is being released in English for the...
He just said the Super Nintendo. So hopefully he didn't mean that as that. I mean, I'm happy to see we're getting the original Clock Tower in some form. That's nice. But it would have been nice. Now, they're messing with it, so they could potentially maybe even add it, but I don't really think that's likely. That's probably very unlikely if they're using the SNES version. So, That's a little bit of a shame, but I mean, it's just one ending, really, with a additional winning scene. It's not that big of a difference, so it's just a slight shame.
The first time ever. Wow. Clock Tower is kicking off our final segment of the showcase, which is totally based around our technology, the Carbon Engine. The Carbon Engine allows us to take games from classic platforms and release them on modern platforms with ease.
They just announced a huge ass game. What else could they announce?
Personality, Modern Vintage Gamer. I'm not sure if that's his real name, but in any case, hold on to your butts for this exciting Carbon Engine release.
65 million years in the making.
Jurassic Park? I mean, the only whale Jurassic Park game I could think of was I think a PC game, I think? I can't remember. 18 and 16-bit. Oh, fuck, Game Boy.
InGen must be eliminated. I will have control of Jurassic Park.
So just a collection of a whole bunch of Jurassic Park games. How many, though?
To celebrate the 30th anniversary of the iconic Jurassic Park film, Limited Run Games is collaborating with Universal Games and digital platforms to release a collection of classic Jurassic Park 8-bit and 16-bit games for modern platforms, which will be available to pre-order on September 1st.
If you're not excited yet, you will be about this next one.
Not ringing a bell. Tomba! Oh, fucking hell, are you kidding me? Dude. So, if you don't know what the hell Tomba is, it's a fucking, there were two of them on the PS1, and they are very expensive now. If they're doing a Tomba fucking collection, that would be awesome, because it's just 2 games. Now, I do know Limited One Games is very against collections a lot of times. Like the Master Blaster Zero games were all released individually through Limited One Games. Japan and Asia just got all 3 of them as one fucking thing. So, I would hope this is both of them together. But it won't shock me at all if this is just the first game and they do the sequel later. It won't shock me if that's the case, but it would be most awesome to have literally both of them. So. So that's also interesting, because these are PS1 games. Oof. Sleep on the job. Tomba, no collection. They're gonna release the sequel as a fucking separate. Not shocking.
Well, that's it. That's all we have. But the picture. E3 isn't saved yet. Well, I think that means we need one more thing. One more thing.
Okay, wait. Pause. Okay. One more thing. So, they're saving the last thing here. Last game. One more thing. What is something that would be absolutely fucking awesome? So far we saw some really interesting things. Clock Tower 1 and Tomba. So now we got PS1 stuff working with the Carbon engine. So there's a lot of choices though. One more. What could be something really exciting that in the show on? Yeah, looking at the ball is almost fucking oval. What could one more thing? I'm gonna go with, well, they never worked with Square. Let's see. I mean, they've been working with Konami. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of fucking things they could potentially go after. I mean, like, they got Mr. Gimmick. That's a really expensive game there, too. You know, what's that one NES game that's so fucking expensive? Can't remember what it's called. That would be amazing to see. It's like the Golden Whale and the American, but I don't know. There's too many things to guess. So let's just see if we can get a hint here. The world has changed. Old. We could. Okay, so something related to 007. I mean, like, the only really beloved 007 game was the N64 game. And to be fair, that did just recently get... The N64 game just recently showed up on Xbox and shit. And got added to digital Where We Play. But if you had it physically... For some reason, people who have Where We Play physically are being screwed out of the fucking GoldenEye game. Which is weird. So... If they were to make it physically for modern things, that would be a little interesting. Now, I don't know what GoldenEye goes for anymore. It never was an expensive game that I ever saw. I don't know what it goes for nowadays, to be fair. But that seems kind of like not a crazy thing to end the show on. But, I mean, that's the only GoldenEye game I can really think of to pull out. I mean... I'm sure there's a few others that I'll consider decent, but like none that I'll really consider very memorable. So, well, let's see. I mean, on the classics. Gek.
Were you expecting someone else?
Are you kidding me? They're gonna make a.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Okay, well, first thing, you're gonna actually release all the Gex games together, but not give us Tomba 1 and 2 together. That to me just screams, Tomba is gonna be you're gonna be able to get more money separating that versus, because I can guarantee you, if they separated all the Gex games, they would not sell as well, because people would be just like, yeah. Now. I've never played a Gex game. I'm only familiar with it having a lot of like old 90s humor and parodies in it. But I've never played any of them, so I'm not here to say they're good or bad or anything. But considering a lot of people don't always talk about them very much other than the parody stuff, probably speaks more of likely they're just kind of more like relics. But I've never experienced them, so I'm not going to say they're bad or anything of that. So... But I guess this is a interesting way where I could actually get to experience some of that. So, but kind of a weird thing to end your show on, unless there's something else. But was trying to hit the pin and instead grab the pillow.
It's tail time. And look at that. Gex saved E3.
Oh, that's stupid.
E3 2023 happened. And now,
Yeah,
that
well,
means E3 2024 is saved because of you.
oh boy. This must have been recorded before. Like, they had already announced. I think they already announced they're not going to have E3 even in 2025, I think. I can't remember. I have to have a look at that announcement again. But I know they always said it's definitely not in 2024. But I think it even included 2025. So, bad news, Josh. Very bad news. I don't think it's saved for 2024. I mean, I know when they announced that they were canceling E3 this year, I do remember the Limited One people expressing being very sad about it not going to be happening this year again. And I'm kind of about why they really even give a crap about, like, E3 to me has felt super soulless for a very long time. Like, I'm thinking back, like, PS3 era. It's just been a hype machine that's either showed us lies, false promises, and, even though E3 is pretty much dead, that style is still living on in other stuff, like when, like, Fallout 76 was fucking announced. Shit like that is why I stopped ever caring about, like, fucking shit like E3 usually. Because you get sick of it. I don't know how other people haven't gotten sick of it myself, but you get sick of it fucking being lied to about half the fucking games you're shown and shit on whether they'll even real or anything, Because a lot of them come out not even playing remotely like how they're fucking presented and shit, so. But, bad news. E3 is probably dead forever. At best, Jeff Keighley will likely continue doing something in its place. At worst, well, no, that's probably the worst. Ha! Yeah, that's probably actually the worst. At best, we'll actually get really good online, like, stream things and that. Now, admittedly, my complaints can also apply to, their online stream stuff. Don't get me wrong on that. Because the thing I like about the online stream stuff is I can kind of just get the things I want to be more interested in instead of watching an ad-ridden presentation thing. So, anyway, let's get this over with. Let Josh finish up his daydream.
And Gex. Thank you, everyone.
There's no way Gex would have saved E3. You should have had Clock Tower for this. Like, seriously, this should have been Clock Tower. Man, that green screen is oof.
Currently finalizing a series of proposals.
Sony Digital Delivery Systems for every media.
Advances in technology come and go.
Well, that was pretty weird. A lot of weird focus on. What? That was a lot of weird focus on fucking E3 themed stuff. So, in general, there was some good stuff in there. Shantae Advance sounds very interesting. I've literally never heard of Shantae being made for the Advance, so I'm very curious to know if that has ever been publicly talked about before, because I've literally never heard about it. Because obviously, if you knew about that, that was probably really exciting news on top of it. But, so, very odd new Shantae game. Clock Tower, very exciting. Castlevania Collection, not shocking. Obviously, they've been working on doing that. I guess we finally got a thing on Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, which is going to be weird. Really weird. But it looks like they're adding a lot of extra stuff on that. So, whether that's worth the CDI styled game, I have to give them props. That is a very unique idea. Now, as long as it plays good, that can be good. If it plays awful, though, oh man, that you took the parody thing way too far. But honestly, yeah, if it actually plays good, the fact that it's spoofing the CDI Zelda games, that's actually a very interesting idea. Because, spoofs and mimicking ideas and stuff, that is nothing new in the game industry. So, admittedly, a creative choice, in my opinion. That I've never heard of that game either, so I don't know if that's really new or something that's existed for a while. Very interesting, though. Very interesting. The cutscene animations look very spot on to the CDI games, honestly. So, but yeah, I seriously was going to say, if they were about to announce the fucking the trilogy of Zelda CDI games, that would have been insane. Because obviously Nintendo has to okay it, even though they're not games Nintendo themselves developed. It's their IP and shit. And obviously, Phillips and them had a license to do that because it was part of their deal to get the fuck out of the CDI console contract. So, but they still obviously own Zelda and shit. So, the idea of them fucking bringing that. And of course, the bigger thing is, even if somehow they were going to convince Nintendo to do that, they would be Switch only. They would only be on Switch. They would not fucking come to other consoles. So, that would have been interesting. I would have really had to wonder how they would have done that. But as we saw, that wasn't the case, though. So, yeah, because I can't see that ever happening, honestly. I really can't ever see that happening, at least with how Nintendo is. So. Okay, show. I don't really know why they went really hard with E3 in it. I kind of miss the fake audience thing that they did in some of the older shows. Hand me up, but kind of when I don't really get the E3 show thing. Not a lot of people are really crying over E3. I mean, it just to me always seemed like a waste of money and illogical. But hey, I guess they considered it worth it before, but obviously now it's just, to me, it really is a waste of money for anyone to really spend time paying at least the amount. If they probably lowered the price, to go in, have booths and shit and stuff, they probably would do better. But they got too greedy and shit, in my opinion. And that obviously, like I said, like popping in the game, live streaming, and just sitting here, blah 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 about the game is obviously way fucking cheaper than flying a whole bunch of shit out to some convention center, setting up a whole bunch of shit in a limited space for a shitload of money to rent that space, So, but yeah, those are my thoughts. I thought, okay, definitely some exciting things to see come up. Let me know what you are excited about. And if you got any of your predictions, because I obviously have fun trying to think of some of the shit. Gex, though, saving E3. I don't know what the fuck, who brainstormed that? I'm sure Gex has fans out there, don't get me wrong on that, but, I mean, come on, Clock Tower would have been a better thing to end that on. It's just weird to me. Maybe he really likes Gex, but there's nothing wrong with that. But anyway, those are my thoughts, so let me know what you think. And until next time, I will see you later. Bye-bye.